Good evening, everybody. Welcome to day 10. We're in double digits now. Day 10 of National Poetry Month. As always, I'm going to do this thing with a couple poems, one of mine, one of someone else's. It's only a matter of time before I got to this guy, though. He'll probably come up again at some point. I can't get enough of him. I've never been able to get enough of him since I was first introduced to the poem I'm about to read tonight. And yeah, it's a poem that's probably his most well-known poem, and it's just one of those ones that's simple, but it has that kind of, or simple delivery, I should say, but it has that kind of like that fuse. It lights, and then you think like, oh damn, that's a bigger picture than just that little line or just that little poem. And in fact, it's just barely, see, I'm not even counting, like it's barely into double digits as far as its line amount goes. But I think one of the best poems ever written, especially by an American poet. So I give you a hint there. He's going to come back again because I have this idea a little further down the road. He's going to come back again a couple times, I'm sure. But anyway, without further ado, without any more verbal tomfoolery and malarkey from this guy right here, I'm going to read this poem. It's entitled Harlem by none other than the incomparable, the amazing, the wonderful, the just almost musical, and I don't know how else to describe him other than just saying it's Langston fucking Hughes. Langston Hughes, man, one of the biggest influences on my poetry. All right, so actually, he's a big influence on what I listen to too. A lot of hip hop, a lot of jazz, a lot of that really opened up when I figured out who this guy was and who he is. So anyway, Harlem by Langston Hughes. What happens to a dream deferred? Does it dry up like a raisin in the sun, or fester like a sore and then run? Does it stink like rotten meat, or crust and sugar over like a syrupy sweet? Maybe it just sags like a heavy load, or does it explode? Harlem by Langston Hughes. Just, yeah, this is an awesome poem. All right, to keep that kind of dream deferred theme going, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not saying this to be self-deprecation or self-deprecating or anything, or to try to like play down my own poems, but same kind of theme, but kinda. My poem has that desertion feel, but it's not quite as like socially heavy, but it's here, and this is something I wrote. Also, a short poem. Just bear with me and my self-deprecation. I mean, how do I compare to Langston Hughes? I mean, quick answer is I don't, which is why I kind of try to do my own thing, But anyway, here's a poem by me from my book, my collection of poems called Analog Poems, out right now. Check the links, check them up above if you're watching this on Facebook, down below if you're watching this on the YouTubes. All right, so yeah, I mean, just give me a chance. All right, here it is. This one's called Long Division, and it's a poem, so the math I'm talking about in this thing gets a little hairy. All right, so anyway, Long Division by yours truly. Here we go. There's something fuzzy about your math. I'm not sure if it adds up right. Subtract's the same though. But like some long division problem, remainders are everywhere. Finding lowest common denominators, I just don't know. Logic has always had an elusive quality. Escapes me on even my best of days. Abstractions have much more looser connections, sitting somewhere between absolutes and obscurities. My head hurts, and my heart isn't too far behind. Long Division by me. As I've urged you all to do before, and I'm going to do it again tonight, the comments. There's a comment section. Feel free to comment. Let's talk about the poems. Um, you know, like I said, like I'm here to talk about my poems. I'm here to talk about my poetry. Um, talk about poetry in general. If you want to talk about the Langston Hughes piece I just did, then hit me up. I mean, that's what I'm here for. I know a little thing or two about that. I know a little thing or two about my own poems, and I'm also very open to other people's knowledge and wisdom and interpretations of both my pieces and everybody else's pieces that I've read. So let's talk it up. Let's celebrate poetry by looking at it and getting into it. I'm here for that, and you know where to find me, right? I mean, the comment section is the easiest place to go, and I'm going to ignore any. If I do get any negative ones, I'm going to ignore those because that's who needs that. But just let's get the conversation going. Let's get the dialogue going. All right. All right. Enough rambling and carrying on and ridiculousness. I got some food to eat. You have a night to have. Have a great rest of your night, everybody. Happy National Poetry Month, Day 10. Double digits, baby. All right. I'll see you tomorrow for another installment, and yeah, I guess that's about it. One love, everybody.